Yo, I'm the one true Stan, and thank you so much for clicking on this video because I got something I want to talk about very badly to people of the Battlefield community. Well, let me just jump right into it. Recently, it has been rumored, or I guess reported on multiple different online gaming magazines and forums and such, that Battlefield 1 has been confirmed to have both map packs, which I personally saw that coming. Almost all shooter games have map packs nowadays. But they also said that there will be confirmed microtransactions in Battlefield 1. Now, I got kind of worried about this when I first read it, and to quote an article from a website I found called fraghero.com, they have an actual caption here about what CEO Andrew Wilson of Battlefield, I believe, had said. He said, as relates to Battlefield 1 and extra monetization opportunity, CEO Andrew Wilson says, taking a step back, anytime we think about extra monetization inside an experience, we really think about it on two vectors. One, are we able to provide value to the gamer in terms of extending and enhancing their experience? And two, are we able to do that in a world where we give them a choice? We never want to be in a place where there's a belief that we are providing a pay-to-win mechanic inside of one of our games. Now, on that note, let me just say that that is a complete load of horseshit when it comes to EA. Now, I know, probably people are screaming at my fucking channel right now and unsubscribing and disliking and yada yada yada. But in previous EA games, in a couple of previous EA games, I can say for certain that there are, in fact, pay-to-win mechanics. They'll tell you, oh, it's a choice. Oh, you know, oh, blah, blah, blah. Oh, you know, you don't have to buy it. And people will defend them. However, when you include certain things into a game that just make it so much easier when you pay, it's basically the same as pay to win. I mean, what is pay to win really? It's putting money into a game you've already spent money on, or, well, as it should be originally, a free-to-play game, but now with EA. You spend extra money in the game to get a boost or some sort of weapon or item in the game that makes you have a better time, gives you an easier time of doing what everybody else has a harder time doing. And in a game like Battlefield 1, that would be killing. So, my concern when reading this kind of thing was like, okay, if they're saying they're not going to make it, like, pay to win, what are they going to do? But let me just read the other quote that this website actually had available, and I'm only reading the quotes and rather than the entire article, because the actual article itself, if I were to try to put it on screen, it has like a million fucking advertisements and shit. I mean, that's how these little companies and little articles make their money, so I don't blame them for that, but I don't want to bring that on the screen just because, well, I'm trying to record and I have a bunch of crap open at once, and I'm afraid it might crash my computer. So anyway, the second little caption quote I have here says, given that in Battlefield 1, you will see both macro monetization, I guess that's buying the actual game. Oh no, macro monetization opportunities from us, like map packs and large-scale content, as well as micro monetization opportunities, smaller increments of gameplay, and then over time, what you will see from us is elements of gameplay that allow gamers to engage and drive and extend and enhance their experience, much the way people do with FIFA Ultimate Team or Madden Ultimate Team today. We feel very confident in our ability to deliver that in a way that is deemed valuable by our player and drives increased engagement over time with them. So, I mean, from a cynical point of view like my own, I see that as them saying, yeah, we're looking for a reason to make more money. And, I mean, this is some serious PR bullshit, like public relation bullshit, if you don't know what PR means by some chance. EA, being the hated corporation they are, I feel sometimes they kind of know, and they kind of over-defend themselves. And I can see why people might be worried about that, because in a World War I situation, think about the kinds of things that they could sell you as a pay-to-win. They could sell you a machine gun, or a submachine gun, one of the experimental submachine guns. And if you think they wouldn't, consider the fact that a lot of the weaponry in Battlefield 4 is experimental weaponry. I mean, the AK-12, to my knowledge, is still not even used by the Russian military en masse today. In other words, if it's used at all, it's probably only by a very small elite group, and it's not seen a lot of testing. I mean, there are a lot of weapons in Battlefield 4 that just either aren't used, are experimental, or just are, like, They don't really need to exist in a game. If the game were trying to be a realistic modern Battlefield setting, most of the weapons in the game wouldn't be in it. If you think otherwise, your opinion, whatever, but if you look it up, if you look at where these weapons originate, their actual years of use, and where just look up a lot of these weapons. I'm serious, look up a lot of these weapons. A lot of these guns don't actually see any use. They're only in their prototype stages, but they're still in the game. So that's to say that in Battlefield 1, we might see we might see weapons that never were even in the war enter the game because I have no problem with this, mind you, as long as I don't have to pay extra money for it, because DICE has a good way of kind of blending in what's actually in the Battlefield and what really doesn't belong there, in a way that I actually like. Like I said, for example, the AK-12 feels like it belongs there, even though it really doesn't, but it feels like it has its place. But I can see them doing something like a pay-to-win mechanic where you can buy one of the early prototype Tommy guns. There were prototype Tommy guns as early as, I believe, 1919 or 1920, and that was like a year or two after the war had ended, but that's probably not going to stop them from trying to add it into the game if they really, really want to. The Lewis machine gun was a weapon that was used in World War I. I'm not really sure what its level of use was, widespread, minimal, I'm not really sure. Personally, I don't know a lot. No, I'm not like a genius on World War I, right? I know some of the basics, and I know a good amount, but I don't know everything. I don't claim to. And but I do know the Lewis machine gun is one of those guns, or it's one of those portable machine guns, one of the few that they could throw into the game, and it gotta help you if it's pay to win, because I'm telling you, they will probably do something underhanded like that. Now, these are the things I thought initially, and then I realized something. Battlefield 4 has microtransactions. What? Stan, that's not true. I don't have to pay to win. Oh, but you do. Or you can, if you want to. Now think about it this way, my friends. Battlefield. What has Battlefield been doing since, I think, the time of Bad Company 2? Think about it. Think really fucking hard. What is different between modern Battlefields and older Battlefields? The most different. Not just the fact that now they're faster paced and all the bullshit that Battlefield 2 veterans are going to yell at you. You can't come up with anything. You sure? Because I know the answer. I'll just tell it to you. Battlefield Premium, or as it was first called VIP, but now it's called Premium. What is Battlefield Premium? Battlefield Premium is basically pay to win. Battlefield Premium is you get early access to maps before anybody else. You get immediate access to all sorts of little boosts and early stuff. I'm pretty sure in Battlefield 3, Premium gave you attachments for your weapon, for your vehicles that normally don't come like default. I'm pretty sure in Battlefield 3, and don't quote me on this, but I thought in Battlefield 3 the Little Bird did not come equipped with guns at first. And I remember I played Battlefield 3 and the first time I tried to fly a Little Bird, I was like, holy fuck, I got a cannon on this thing, and I had a guided missile. I'm pretty sure you only got that by having Premium, and Battlefield 4 is the same thing. You get a set amount of weapons and attachments very early on, such as things like countermeasures for jets and things like that. And on top of that, Battlefield 4 and Hardline also have battle packs. Now, the battle packs, I guess, as a pay-to-win mechanic, that's a little bit much. Let's be real here, battle packs don't do a lot, and I think that's the reason why a lot of people don't complain about them. They just give you attachments for weapons that in most cases, I don't get attachments for weapons I even use. And let me just tell you, I use a lot of the fucking guns in the game. So for them to keep giving me sniper rifle attachments, that's just whatever. But the point is, these sorts of things that they're talking about in this article already exist in Battlefield games. So, as much as a kind of a red flag as this may seem, you have to remember they already exist, so it's not that big a deal. We'll have to see what happens, though, when the game actually launches in October, and hopefully it's not like Star Wars Battlefront, because I tell you one fucking thing right now, if I play Star Wars Battlefront World War II reskin, when I get this game that I spent $80 on the Deluxe Edition, and if Premium is not included in the Deluxe Edition, I will buy Premium, because I just am a huge Battlefield fan. But if these things add up to a game that is inadequate, or God help me, it's like Hardline, where it just doesn't work, and they didn't think it through enough, because Hardline could have worked, they just didn't think it through enough. If this is what we get, and then there's microtransactions, there will be a lot of anger. I mean, you see how hyped up the game is right now, so I'm certain there will be some people, no matter how good or bad it is, they'll always say it's a great game. Because that's just how people think. They have this habit of not thinking for themselves. But anyway, I gotta kind of wrap this up here. We'll have to see what happens, and I really do hope Battlefield 1 is a good game, regardless of whether or not it has microtransactions. And if battle packs are in the game, I would like to see what you guys think about what might actually happen. Like, do you think the battle packs in Battlefield 1 are going to be just like they are now in Battlefield 4 and Hardline, where they don't really seem to affect the game very much? They only give you some small boosts and attachments for guns you may or may not use. Or do you think that they might do something to make them more appealing? Do you think that EA is going to try to be innovative, in air quotes, again, and make the battle packs really matter, like they have special guns or something? And do you think that they'll still offer you a way to get them in-game without paying? Anyway, I'm the One True Stan, and thank you so much for watching this video. I hope to see you all around in the next one. Peace.